Now, there we go.
Okay. So hi everyone, welcome to our second week of live Qigong. So thank you for joining us and making sure in the space that you're in, you're wearing comfortable clothes, but also you've got enough space around you just to be able to swing your arms, and that'll be the kind of space you need. So in your living room or anywhere you find yourself. And we'll just start with I always acknowledge, namaste, all those that have passed on this lineage, that have practiced this, my lineage through Nick Loffrey, through Lee Holden, and through all those that have trained them. So we'll make a start with a warm up for our wrists and our hands. So we'll just start making a figure of 8 with our fingers and our wrists, just making the stretching the palm and flexing the wrist, just getting some opening into the hands, the wrists, the arms, and going the opposite way. Keeping the elbows and the shoulders nice and relaxed. Just gently waking up the body, letting it know we're going to have some movement. And we'll go now. So we're just going to warm up our elbows. So the elbows stay kind of fixed in space. We're just making circles. Again, still you can flex the fingers and the wrists. Making some nice big circles there. And then the opposite way. So starting at the top and coming round. That's it. Stretching the fingers. And we'll go on to the shoulders. So pushing the backs of your hands forward, coming up, round to the sides and dropping down. So the movement's all coming from the shoulders, and the lower arms are turning because it's following the movement from the shoulder. And the shoulder joint, just getting some nice opening in there. Maybe taking some nice deep breaths. As you're opening your chest. Maybe flexing the spine a little bit. Keeping a nice straight spine. Knees slightly bent. Nice solid posture, and go in the opposite way. So this time the backs of your palms are pushing to the back wall or behind you, and then around to the sides, following the shoulder joint. So it's the shoulder that's leading the movement. Loosening up, feeling loose in the elbows and the wrists. Good, and maybe you want to just swing your arms up and down a little bit. Just loosening them up, side to side. Good. So we'll go on to our neck. So just turning your neck to face the right. And back to center, keeping a nice straight spine. Imagine you've got like a thread coming out the top of your head that's holding your head nice and upright. And it's just turning as if you're on a pivot, like a spit roast almost. Sorry for the analogy for those that don't affirm with them kind of visuals, but it helps to just imagine a fixed point around which you're turning. So your spine is that metal rod. And then this time we can take the ear to the shoulder and just gently, again, keeping a nice lift in the top of your head. So you're imagining a line from the top of your head to the base of your spine, just intending to keep that a bit more upright, to give your head and your neck a bit more support. Feeling a nice stretch on the inner shoulder to the side of the neck. Then you roll your neck round and up to the other side. Always listen to your own body, especially when you're moving the neck. Find what feels good, keeping a nice lift in the top of the crown. Dropping of the shoulders. Just taking some nice deep breaths, relaxing into the body. That's it. And now we're going to open up the waist. So we're keeping the hips nice and still. This is just to open up the side body and the waist. So you're moving more. Imagine your rib cage is kind of moving and pivoting. Keep it nice and straight in your lower body and the hips. And it's this upper part of the body that's just opening up a bit, giving us some space in the side body. And going the opposite way. Anti-clockwise. That's it. And this time we'll add the hips as well. So bringing the hips one way and imagining the chest going the other way again, just keeping some nice space in the abdomen and in the chest. Some nice big circles or small, find what feels good. Moving this time more from the waist, the hips, the pelvis. Keeping a nice straight spine. Do 3 circles that way. One more. Lovely. Okay, so taking your knees a little bit further apart and just gently with your palms on them, just bobbing up and down. Just getting a bit of warm up into the lower body, a bit of strength into the legs. Keeping a nice straight spine, and we're just moving up and down like you're dropping the tailbone, dropping from the pelvis and trying to keep the spine a bit upright. Lovely. And then bring your legs slightly closer together to where they're comfortable. If you've got anything with your knees, be careful with this one, find what feels good, but you may just want to just do some gentle circles one way and then the opposite way, opening them up, and a bit of opening in the hips and the knees and the ankles. That's it. And then standing upright, we're just going to shift your balance onto your right or left foot and just making some nice big circles with your ankle, flexing the toes, getting plenty of spaciousness into the sole of the foot, really opening up them fascia, making space in the body for energy to move through, loosening up any stiffness, and then giving it shake to the front, to the side, and the back. And then with the other leg, the same again, circling at the ankle, flexing the toes, making some nice circles. Feeling nice and grounded in your other leg. You can lean against the surface if that helps. Trying to keep posture with this one, find what works for you. Balance can bring humility for sure. Shaking to the front, to the side, and to the back. So we'll make a start with a couple of stretches. So the first one's called Owl Turns Its Head. So for this one, we're just going to take our hands as if we're holding a chalice in front of our, like almost like our hands are following the pelvic bone. And we're just knees slightly bent, back nice and straight. And we're just going to open the palms out to the sides and turn the head to face one way. So we're turning to the right, pushing down with the fingertips and then back to the center. And then we'll go to the other side, to the left. Nice straight spine, pushing down with them fingertips. Feeling nice and looser in the shoulders. And back to the middle. And we can do this with the breath. So breathe in to open up. Fingertips pushing down and breathing out to come back to center. Finding your own rhythm. Trying to slightly elongate your breath. Deepen that breath, get some more energy into the body. A little bit slower than the everyday pace. We'll hold to this side. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. Allowing that stretch. Back to the center and to the other side. Fingertips pointing downwards. Nice stretch. Holding. And back to the center when you're ready, and maybe you want a bit of a shake there. Okay, lovely. So this time we're going to do, this one's called Shake the Tree. So we're going to be shaking our whole body. So generally the stance in Qigong, you want your feet kind of shoulder width apart, slightly wider than the hips. Sometimes like bending the knees, just imagining a bit of a tuck of the tailbone, and letting that just gently bend the knees so you've got a nice solid foundation. nice and straight and upright in the spine. And we're just going to start with shaking our wrists out, and our hands, our fingers. Often a lot of tightness here, especially if people have been using devices, sat behind a computer, and then gently allowing that shaking to go through the whole body. Imagining lifting up and down from the tailbone, or the quad area in Qigong, they call it, like the pelvic, lower abdomen region. Really letting the shoulders be loose, the arms, the elbows. Gently bouncing into the knees if that feels good, and into the heels. Keeping the crown nice and lifted, the chin gently tucked. And we can exhale with a loud sigh. The ha is like a purging breath. Just helping with the release of any stress and tension in the body. Just noticing if there's any areas of your body that feel a bit more tense. And letting it go. And even if there's any tightness in the abdomen, the chest, gently letting it go. In the mind. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. Now we're going to stand in Wuji with our palms facing the floor. Our knees are shoulder width apart. Slight bend in the knees. Slight dipping of the tailbone. Not overly tucked, but slight dipping. Just standing with a nice straight spine. Nice straight crown. And just breathing nice and deep into the belly. Just noticing how the body feels. You might feel a slight tingling sensation. That energy has been released. And you may wish to lean more towards the ball of your foot. That can help to increase the energy. Activating part of the energetic system. Imagine that energy coming all the way up the body and all the way back down. Taking some nice deep belly breaths. Feeling nice and solid in your foundation. We'll just hold this for another 20 seconds or so. Just helping us arrive fully in our bodies, noticing how we're feeling in this moment. Starting practice from a nice solid foundation. So this first movement we'll move on to now, our flows. So we've purged our energy a bit and we've built some, so now we're going to circulate a bit of that energy through the body. So we're going to start with our hands in front of our pelvis. Again, kind of at the quad as if we're holding a chalice or a goblet. And we're going to breathe in and bringing the arms up to the sides, kind of like pumping a bellows, and breathing out to come back to the center, the lower abdomen, the pelvis region. And as we breathe in and our arms come up, it's a slight lift in the knees. As we come down, slight bend in the knees back to the pelvis. Trying to keep the elbows and the palms, the wrists in almost a fixed position, so it's more, again, the shoulder joint. And the breath that's lifting. And then compressing the pearl, imagining that energy coming together, almost like a ball of light that we're pulsing into, compressing the pearl, expanding, we're building more energy, and then we're bringing it all together, concentrated in the lower abdomen. In some schools, the lower abdomen is the lower dantian. It's associated with the door of life and the region where energy is held and built, and from there it circulates through the body. The energy that we accumulate in our practice. A couple more times. You might even want to close your eyes and notice how that feels. Letting the movement come from the body. Breath. Good. And then we'll just stand back in Wuji and just notice how you feel. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths. And you can have a little shake if that's helpful too. Feeling nice and grounded. Bit more energy moving, and we'll move on to our next flow. So this one is called flying hands. So we'll start with our hands again, almost like they're hugging the pelvis, imagining like a diamond here between our hands. And it's just going to come up the body, push out, bring the palms to parallel to the floor and come back down. So again, we're starting at the pelvis, tracing up to the sternum, then arms straighten out, wrists turn to parallel and sinking down. So imagining that energy rising up, moving forward and smoothing out, linking the lower dantian, the heart field, moving some energy through our abdomen, our chest, like the main organs of the body. And then just nice and slowly with your breath to lift up and push out, and then turn the wrists and breathe out to come down. And when the wrists come out, they go slightly wider, so they're almost shoulder width before dropping back down to that narrower stance. And Qigong, we repeat a flow to help circulate and smooth the energy. Stay relaxed and alert in body and in mind. All of us together. With the flow. Let this be the last one. And then bringing the hands back to Wuji posture, and again taking a couple of nice deep breaths, noticing how your body feels. Maybe having a little bit of a shake in the knees or the legs if that's helpful, before we move on to our next breath. So we begin again with our palms this time flat to the floor, and we're going to breathe in, and the arms are going to come up and out to the sides, palms facing up, out, come down. Again, it's kind of opening up the chest. Moving around the elbows, kind of like we did in the warm-up. Sinking to come back down slightly at the knees. And lifting to come back up. Nice and grounded. It's the breath that brings the arms up. Just a couple more times. And then back to Wuji posture, and again just noticing how you're feeling. And we'll introduce a new one. So this one's to bring a bit of the extra spaciousness in the spine. So we're going to take the hands in front of us and one palm lift facing up, one palm facing down, kind of at the abdomen chest region. And our arms will separate out. And we'll turn the palms like a key in a lock. Cross them over the front. The arms push slightly out, but not fully stretched. And just gently pressing up and down, feeling a slight lift in the spine, and then turning around. So imagine your hands are like key in a lock, so imagine they're parallel to the floor, and it's that key that turns. They can't change their angle, it won't fit in the lock. So trying to keep, imagine maybe around the middle finger, imagine that middle finger fixed in space. And again, like that analogy of like there's a metal rod through it. And so you're literally just turning that metal rod and bringing them back together. We breathe in. And we breathe out when the hands cross. Breathing in. And the palms meet, breathing out. Feeling a slight stretch in the spine. Shoulders. Turning around the fixed point, middle finger. Couple more times. Final time. And bringing our arms back to Wuji. And again, just noticing how the body feels. Feel nice and grounded. And we'll close up the practice with an exercise called drawing down the heavens. So taking the arms to the sides and imagining some Qi above you, often it's associated with a purple colour, and imagining that just washing all the way through your body. Your hands are staying kind of parallel to the floor as they're pushing down. So imagining collecting energy, and then imagining it washing all the way down with your breath. Like a Qi shower. Just smoothing out that Qi that we've built and circulated. Nice and relaxed still in the shoulders, the wrists, the elbows. Imagining whatever quality of energy you most need now, whether it's energizing, relaxing. And you can imagine that just washing all the way through the body. This will be the final one. And we'll bring it down to settle into the lower dantian. So we'll take our hands between the thumb and the first finger, and they interlock. It doesn't matter which hand's over the top, whichever feels comfortable. And this is one I won't mirror you on, but tracing the large intestine. So we're tracing up the right side, across the middle, and down the left side of the body. And we're just making some circles. This is just centering the energy in our lower abdomen region, our lower dantian. Again, with some nice deep breaths, feeding the breath through the whole of the abdomen and chest. Making them circles smaller and smaller, bringing the feet together. Slight bend in the knees, straighten the spine. This is called bamboo sways in the wind. So imagining there's a golden thread from the top of your head lifting you, slight tuck in the crown. It's like tuck in the chin, lift of the crown. Relaxed in the shoulders. And breathe in nice and deep into the abdomen. Feeling centered. Noticing how your body feels and letting it rock and sway like bamboo in the wind. Supple, strong, relaxed and at ease. Just letting the energy will settle through our body now. Noticing how you feel compared to the start of the practice. One more final deep breath, and then stepping again to shoulder width. Another nice deep breath into the lower abdomen. And release with a sigh. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.